This video will contain spoilers. Hurry Up Tomorrow, universally negative ratings. I watched it in cinema. Jenna Ortega, The Weeknd, Barry Keoghan, Charlie D'Amelio. Okay. I'm not a fan of The Weeknd. I don't hate his music or anything like that. But it's just, I remember when I Can't Feel My Face came out 10 years ago. I was 10 years old. I thought, it's a pretty good song. But because 10 years ago was also when Stressed Out and Blurryface came out, that was like my musical reawakening. So you know, after that, Starboy came out, and I thought, that's a pretty good song. And then, it's not like he disappeared. He's been continually making music ever since, but I don't really know them. I know Blinding Lights, but the rest all just sound like Blinding Lights and Starboy to me. Like, they just sound too similar. And I'm not saying that all his songs are the same, because this is just the perspective of an outsider. I'm not a fan of him. I, I haven't gone out of my way to listen to all his songs. So if I did that, maybe I will notice the difference. But I just wanted to get out of the way, because this isn't just something that he just so happened to star in. This is something that he wrote himself, and he plays himself in the film. Like, Ibel Tesfaye, or however you pronounce it, is his real name. Also, I find it weird that he once credited as him, like his real name, even though it's a film about The Weeknd, and it's not just like in this film he is The Weeknd, but he doesn't go by The Weeknd. He goes by The Weeknd. They confirm that in the film because Jenna Ortega's character has a wallpaper that says The Weeknd on it. So, if you're a fan of The Weeknd, maybe you'll enjoy this more than I did. I didn't hate it or anything like that, but it's stupid and it should not exist. Like, brief rundown of the plot. A lot of the start isn't necessary. It's not. I don't want to say it isn't necessary. It's just I'll explain what happens. So Jenna burns down her house and goes to the concert. Meanwhile, The Weeknd, he performs one concert, no problem, and then he goes to a vocal doctor, and the doctor says that he's been putting a lot of stress on himself because he has this ex that he's obsessed with, and the stress is causing a problem with his vocal cords, and he needs to take a break, otherwise he risks permanently, like, destroying his voice. And instead of immediately saying, let's cancel the concert, he waits until the very last second to cancel it, and then Barry Keoghan, who is his manager, gives him a bit of cocaine and says, "Oh, just get up there, you'll be fine." And he gets up there and he doesn't destroy his vocal cords, but you can hear like two snaps, I guess, and he runs away and he bumps into Jenna. And they have a bit of fun together. They go to a hotel room. They don't have sex or anything like that, but just they have a great time. And then she's sitting there and she's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do now?" He says, "I'm gonna go. I've still got the tour to do." Uh, and she says, "Yeah, you're going to Australia next. I've never been." "Oh yeah, you should go. It's a nice place." And she's trying to like sort of nudge him into saying, "Oh, you should come with me," but he doesn't say it. And so she just starts tweaking and is like, "Oh, you promised me all this?" I don't think I'm pretty sure you didn't say that, unless I just missed it. Because she said that he said, the night before, oh, don't leave me or anything like that. Promise me you'll never leave. And eventually, he just like, you might have seen this scene. It's like that the only attention this film has gotten is people making fun of this one scene where he sort of like, as she's just yapping, he gives a face of like, "Are you serious right now?" And then eventually he's like, "No, shut up, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about." He's acting like the emotion isn't right, is what it is. The attempt is there, but sorry about that. So he goes to leave. She smashes a vase over his head. Then he has like a wee dream of. It's weird. And then he wakes up tied to his bedroom. And Jenna is like, "Look, I won't tie you, but just talk to me, be honest with me." And it seems like the whole thing is that she knows of his ex. Like she's related to his ex or something. Excuse me, like something like that. But they never reveal that. In fact, there would be no fucking difference in this film if his ex was not a part of the plot. I thought the whole thing was going to be that the ex has like killed herself or something, and that Jenna is her sister going to take revenge. But that's not what it is. So and then she starts playing Blinding Lights and she starts dancing to it. And she's like, "Oh, the song makes you feel like you're at the club. You're gonna let loose after, a bit of stress." But when you pay attention to the lyrics, they're so emotional. I don't know. I sound like I'm saying it sarcastically, like it isn't emotional. I don't know. I don't know the lyrics of Blinding Lights other than "Oh, I'm blinded by the light." So I'm not making a comment on whether or not that's true, because it could just be like The Weeknd praising himself because he wrote the fucking film. Um, and then she plays another song and another one, and then Barry comes and he breaks down the door. Her and Jenna fight. Jenna kills him. She starts crying. She pours gasoline over herself and The Weeknd, and she's hesitating. Like she has a lighter and she's hesitating to like light themselves. And eventually he starts singing, and because he starts singing, that that makes her stop, and then he just goes back to doing concerts. And then the film ends. I look at the trivia section for the film on IMDb, and that says that the whole thing is that the name of her character, Anima, however you pronounce it, that has some sort of meaning, and that because of whatever that name means, it could be that her character is just a figment of his imagination. That it's like the feminine parts of him or something like that. I don't know. And I, that theory kind of makes sense. I believe that she's real, but I wouldn't say it's wrong to say that she isn't real. But yeah. So I think the biggest problem with the film, or not the biggest, but a problem with the film is the best part of it. Jenna Ortega is supposed to be the villain of the film. And when I say this word, I'm gonna have to like have a big sort of side rant about this. So I find something weird with the sort of career of Florence Pugh. You know, she got famous I'd say around 2019 when she did Hereditary. Maybe she was famous before that, I don't know. Element, she's not the best looking, but she's not ugly by any means, and, a lot of people find her hot, a lot of people don't. And then, a couple of years ago, she shaved her head. I don't remember the reason for that, but she did it. And that would have been fine. But recently, people have posted photos of her with her shaved head. Bella Ramsey, Rachel Zegler, and some other female celebrity, and saying that because these people have become famous after 2017, the reason they're famous is because Harvey Weinstein is no longer around. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, genuinely. Like, I don't care how good looking or bad looking someone is. If they're good at their job, they're good at their job. Jenna Ortega is a great actress. Florence Pugh is a great actress. Rachel Zegler, as much as I hate Rachel Zegler, I thought she was fine in the Hunger Games movie. And Bella Ramsey, yeah, there's no denying that she is terrible. But also, she's only worked in television. Like, she hasn't done films. So, the Harvey Weinstein comment doesn't even make sense for that. But it's just, yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? And also, you're using an old photo of Florence Pugh. Her hair is grown back. Hell, now that I remember, I think she just shaved her head just because she played a cancer patient in We Live in Time. So it was for a role. It wasn't like some sort of shit. Sorry about that. So it's for a role, as far as I know. I'll Google it just in case. But I don't think it was because she's like a feminist or something like that. But let's just double check if my keyboard could work. Yeah, 4 week living time. So it's not for like ugly reasons, I'll say. Um, but then like those posts, they're only from a couple of months ago. But then Thunderbolts came out, and now like just people constantly rightly glazing her. There are so many photos of her making so many weird faces, and the only word to describe all of this is cute. She is cute. And I don't mean that in a beauty way, I just mean that as in she is fucking cute. That's the problem with Jenna Ortega's character in this film. She is too cute at being a villain. It doesn't really work out. Also, on that video of him being like him with his not great acting, someone commented someone commented that his acting makes Jenna's look good. Whoever said that, I'm guessing that they've only ever seen Wednesday. They haven't seen anything else that she's in, and they assume that Wednesday is an original concept. Like, they don't know about the Addams Family cartoons from 2019 and 2021. I think the sequel came out. He doesn't know about the live action Addams Family films from the early 90s. And he doesn't know about the Addams Family original show from the 60s, I think. I'm not sure. Like, Jenna's not acting, she's just gloomy. That's the whole point of the fucking character. The character's been around long before any of us have. So, yeah, she's not a bad actress. You're just a fucking retard. that's all I really have to say about the film. So moving on. I I had a feeling when I was talking about Thunderbolts, I was like, shit, did I review Thunderbolts? I did. And then I thought, shit, did I review Grown Ups too? And no, I don't think I did. So let's just double check. Yeah, it definitely wouldn't have been this long ago. Yeah. Grown Ups too. Mixed ratings. Watched it on either Netflix or Prime. I can't remember. With Bin Man. Adam Sandler, Kevin James, David Spade, Chris Rock, Salma Hayek, Cameron Boyce, Taylor Lautner, Matt Rudolph, Maria Bello, Steve Buscemi, Jackie Sandler, Alexander Ludwig, Sadie Sandler, Patrick, not saying that, Steve Austin, Milo Ventimiglia, Shaq, David Henry, Andy Samberg. Ben Man told me that an unpopular opinion of his is that Grown Ups 2 is better than Grown Ups 1. I disagree. Um, I think Grown Up 2 is very good, and also something that sort of elevated my enjoyment of the film is I'd already seen a scene of this before, and I didn't know that I had seen it before. Because there's a scene in this where a guy is bullying Cameron Boyce's character, and he says to Cameron, "You're dead," and it just like with modern context being that he literally is dead. It's like, oh god damn. I can't really think of anything to say because I seen it so long ago and I just forgot the review. So I don't know what to say. It's good. Not as good as the first one. Um, Weird this is Adam Sandler's first sequel. Like, out of all his films, this one. Eh. Then again, I feel like his better ones, a sequel wouldn't really work. Like, imagine Zohan 2 or That's My Boy 2. They just wouldn't work out. I'm so sorry for not being able to say so much. I don't know how you pronounce this, but I'm going to give it an attempt. The Phoenician Scheme. Negative rating. Directed by Wes Anderson. I watched it in cinema. Benicio del Toro, Scarlett Johansson, Michael Cera, Tom Hanks. Bill Murray is not. He's credited, but I didn't see him. I think he's in the Heaven Dream segments. I'm not sure. Benedict Cumberbatch, Willem Dafoe, Bryan Cranston, Rupert Friend, Riz Ahmed, Richard Ayoade, Jeffrey Wright, F. Murray Abraham. I think this film has a meaning to it, and I think the meaning is basically just, about it's the same shit about capitalism that Severance and Fallout are doing, and it is getting tiring seeing this over and over and over again. But I really enjoy this film. There were at least two scenes where all the characters argue over each other, and you can't hear what they're all saying. I love that in comedies when everyone just argues with each other, or not even in comedies, just in general. Like, I always find it really funny, no matter how serious it is. It feels a bit weird that this is the first time that Benicio del Toro has played the main character in a Wes Anderson film, even though, as far as I remember, the only other Wes Anderson film he was in was French Dispatch, which that didn't really have a main character. Also, it's also a little weird that they're Michael Cera got a start in Arrested Development. That started in the early 2000s. And then he got a start in films with Superbad, and Superbad was a massive success. Like, it wasn't just, he did one film and it boosted him a little bit, and then he did another and it boosted him a little bit. He was immediately famous. That came out in 2007. Since 2007, we've had Fantastic Mr. Fox, Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest Hotel, Isle of Dogs, French Dispatch, and Asteroid City. 6 Wes Anderson films. He wasn't cast in a single one of them. Like, when I heard that Michael Cera was going to be in this, I thought, this is perfect. Like, Michael Cera fits in with Wes Anderson's style. Why did it take him so long to give him a role? Also, there was something that I don't think Wes Anderson's ever done before that I thought I really liked. It was seen at the end where Benedict Cumberbatch tries to kill Benicio del Toro, and it's a POV shot, and you can see IRL. Benedict is basically just grabbing the camera and shaking it about, but it's just great. I seen this and Hurry Up Tomorrow yesterday. This started at 20 to 5, and Hurry Up Tomorrow started at 9. So there was a big gap between the films, and I brought my iPad up and I watched this week's Doctor Who, which I was kind of hoping to wait until the end of the season to make a comment on, but fuck it, here we go. Episode 1, I thought, was going fine until, very close to the end. Belinda's ex-boyfriend, the whole thing of him being an incel is fucking stupid. Like, Russell, you're 62 years old, you don't understand all this context of the shit that's going on. Shut the fuck up. That's all I really have to say about that. I want to do this in order. Let me look up what episode 2 is. I think it's the Lux episode. Yeah, it is. I don't have a problem with this episode. Although I think it's a bit weird that every single god has been played by a gay man. Like, we had the toy maker, played by Neil Patrick Harris. Then we had Maestro, played by a fucking drag queen. Then Suktek, I don't even know how to pronounce his fucking name. He wasn't played by a gay man because they got the voice from the original. Lux is voiced by Alan Cumming. He was the next person, I can't remember. There was someone else after Lux, I swear. That's weird. Yeah, Lux, no problem. I think it was a great episode. The Well, it weird that we got a sequel to Midnight. Midnight's a great episode, but it's stupid. I think it would have been better off not being connected, like it was a separate planet or something like that. Lucky Day. That was a good episode until the point where they revealed that Conrad is actually a bad guy. That was stupid. as the whole thing of like incels, and it doesn't make sense. The whole thing of like, well, the plot is Conrad met the Doctor as a child, and since then he had a fascination with aliens and shit like that, and he wanted to learn more. He applied for unit and got turned down, and because he got turned down, he now believes that it's all fake. Like the whole thing is supposed to be a metaphor for like Doge, basically. The fact that, Elon's going into all these places and saying, what you're doing, like, it's unnecessary, it's a waste of taxpayer money, all that, stop. And it's just like, the metaphor doesn't work, and you're just a fucking idiot. But anyway, episode 5, like, completely unnecessary episode, very, very stupid. That's all I can really say about it. Episode 6, that's how you can tell it's written by a gay man. The fact that they made an episode about fucking Eurovision. And then bringing back Susan, I think I've wanted that, but this isn't the right way to do it. And also bringing the Rani back, I'm not at the point in the original Doctor Who where the Rani comes in. I'm still on John Pertwee's episodes, and as far as I know, the Rani doesn't come in until Colin Baker. So I haven't experienced her yet, but I did always like want to bring her back as well. But that twist of Mrs. Flood being the Rani was just shit. It's so stupid. And then Westworld, I have like 2 problems with the episode. One, the scene where the Doctor says to that one guy, "Oh no, Kate will definitely agree to go with you. You know, you're a beautiful man." And the guy goes, "Whoa, are you being gay?" It's like, I wasn't around at the time period that this episode is trying to reflect, but I can imagine that if a man said that another man was beautiful in this context, the assumption wouldn't be that that guy is gay. The assumption would be it's a fucking compliment. So that bit was just terrible. And then, who the fuck is Omega? Like, I thought they were going to do the same thing with the last season where it's like, oh, we brought back this villain from 50 years ago. But either it is and they just didn't do a flashback, or it isn't and they're just hiding. They talk about him like he is. It's stupid. But yeah, I watched Westworld, and then I started watching Andor. I watched episodes 5, 6, and 7 and part of 8. And I don't know if I've said this about Andor already, but when I watched the first 3 episodes, I thought, this show has finally grown a set of balls. It's actually doing something interesting. Season 1, from what I remember, is just talking. One scene of people talking, then another scene of people talking, and over, and it just leads nowhere. The way that this season is working out, initially I thought it's interesting, it's gonna work, it'll be quite, it'll be good. No. From what I remember, all of season 1 takes place in BBY 5. Then the first 3 episodes of season 2 take place in BBY 4. The next episodes 4, 5, and 6 is BBY 3, and so on. it just makes it seem like a procedural where each arc or act, whatever you want to call them, doesn't connect to the other. Oh, well, at least it doesn't for Andor, but it does for the rest of the characters, and the rest of the characters just fucking suck. Like, that guy that has been compared to Dale Cooper. I'm not a fan of Twin Peaks, but comparing him to Dale Cooper is just an insult to Dale Cooper. I think Dale Cooper's a great character. This guy, like, there's just no connection. His wife, you can't even tell whose side she's on. It's so fucking confusing. Dale's mum is a completely unnecessary character. Excuse me. And then Verada Sefu, who plays Belinda in Doctor Who, is also in Andor. I remember glimpses of her character in season 1, but I don't remember anything she outright did. I just remember her being there. And then season 2, all that happened is like she kisses her girlfriend and then dies. And then her girlfriend, like the guy that killed her was an accident because the plan that they had fucked up because of some drunk. Um, like I don't blame that guy for what he did because it was a mistake and it wasn't his fault and all that. But the girlfriend is just laying on him like Verada's character is like this really important person. Shut the fuck up. Like that's my thing I can say here. So fucking annoying. This whole season has just become a scene of someone talking that has no meaning, and then another scene of someone talking that has no meaning. And it's just that over and over and over. And sometimes there's some good shit going on, like the start of season 2 and the prison break from season 1. And I think the point I'm at, there's a massacre going to happen, like a Red Wedding type massacre. So I can't wait for that. But like, I've still got like 5 episodes left of the show. So fucking boring. I just wanted to get that off my chest. No, there was actually a meaning behind all that. I've just remembered. Wes Anderson films are kind of the same, where it's just people talking and it doesn't really have any meaning, but at least Wes Anderson has a style to it that makes it entertaining to watch. And also, it's a film, so it's a lot shorter. That's what makes Wes Anderson films hit or miss. Sometimes it's entertaining, sometimes it's not. Like, this is good. Grand Budapest is good. Asteroid City is good, but films like Moonrise Kingdom and Royal Tenenbaums are just boring. 28 days later, universally positive ratings. I watched it in the Odeon cinema with Ginger. Cillian Murphy, Brendan Gleeson, Naomi Harris, Christopher Eccleston. Is that the guy from Boiling Point? It is? Also directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland. Alex did a great job here, but I still don't trust him. That's all I can really say about that. Danny Boyle's directing on this is shit. Like his cinematography. It kind of reminds me of Saw. Because a lot of the scenes in this is just pointless shaking to kind of show that, like, it's low budget. So they can't really, they can't afford to do too much with the zombies. But I mean, surely you can afford contact lenses because, as far as I know, that's all they need. Like it's not your typical zombie where like the skin turns like green or whatever. It's just the eyes are bloodshot and yellow. That's it. So even with it being low budget, it just felt unnecessary. I do get that 99% of the budget went into shutting down places like that bridge and the motorway into Manchester. But there's gotta at least be something left for contact lenses. I don't know how much they cost, but surely it can't be that much. Moving on, it's a great film. There was no need for Cillian Murphy to be naked at the start there. That's not really how hospitals work. I've never had to go to one for myself, but I've been to hospitals before. Patients aren't naked. Anyway, I seen this almost a week ago. It was Tuesday. I'm recording this on Sunday. Because I stopped using Just Eat because it just doesn't work for me anymore. It fucks up every time. I'll order something and I'll get something else. Like, it doesn't matter where I go to, that's just how it is. So I stopped using it. I use Uber Eats now. And I use Uber One. And on Uber One, you can be entered into competitions and shit. And I entered the competition to get 2 free tickets to the Odeon. And I got them. I won. And I was thinking, what could I watch? Is there anything exclusive to the Odeon? And I saw that they're releasing the Dandadan movie. And they will be re-releasing one of the Demon Slayer movies. At the time, I wasn't in the Demon Slayer. I've gotten into it now. I'm just going to do this in the middle of this review. Like a review within a review. Second chance review, Demon Slayer. I must have been bored or something when I watched this, because this first episode was great. And that's all I can really say. That's why I'm doing the review of Winter Review. So back to 28 Days Later. I thought I did kind of want to give that a second chance because of JJK. But we never got around to it in time. So that was off the table. They were re-releasing Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and I wanted to go see it with Bin Man, but he wasn't free on the dates that there was only like 2 days they were playing it. My brother said maybe we can go see Sinners, and I said yeah, but he was like, oh, but I don't want to go on the weekend because I'm busy painting my room, and I don't want to go on the weekdays because I've got school like 1 day a week. Just, you know, just need to get this out there. My brother's a fucking idiot. And eventually I thought, right, I know they're re-releasing 28 Days Later and the Omniplex, which is the one that I go to. Let's check the Odeon. Okay, they are. And I knew that Ginger would have wanted to see it, so we did. Fuck the Odeon. Like, uncomfy seats, and there's just a bit of woke shit there. Like, there's tampons in the men's bathroom, there's spaces for praying, because, like, you know, Muslims have to pray 3 times a day. And name badges have pronouns on them. Also, everything in the Odeon is more expensive than it is at the Omniplex because Belfast. And also, they think they're better than they are. Fuck Odeon. Omniplex supremacy. I can't think of what to say about the film, even though I've seen it somewhat recently. I didn't expect that song like in the house in the harpy, whatever the fuck it's called. I didn't expect that to be in this. I thought it was exclusive to 28 years, or not years, weeks. Just like with the Thing, I didn't expect them to actually show the origin of the outbreak. Showing the origin always creeps me out. Like, Train to Busan and all of us are dead. The fact they show it, it's just, like it could have been so easily avoided, but it wasn't. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to move on from there. Lilo and Stitch 25. Mixed ratings. I watched it in cinema. Excuse me. Zach Galifianakis. I don't think Hannah Waddingham is in it. Amy Hill. I feel those Courtney B. Vance. I think I've never seen the original. I was gonna go see the original before this, like I did with Mufasa, but I never got around to it. So I know that they wrote Cobra Bubbles for Fingrames. So having that in mind, the fact that they didn't get Fingrames for this, and I do get he was busy with Mission Impossible, it didn't sit right. I think Sack and Billy Magnuson, that name sounds really looks familiar, but I can't place him. I think they did a good job. The girl playing Lilo, she wasn't annoying. I had a feeling she would be. I don't know if they got someone her age or someone older to voice her in the original. But something I find weird is they say that Lilo is 6 years old, assuming the girl that plays her is also 6 years old. That means she was born in 2019. What the fuck? I think it's a fun movie, but if this is a shot-for-shot remake of the original just doesn't live up to the hype. Like, it's overrated. Hallow Road. Universally positive ratings. I watched it in cinema. Rosamund Pike. If you like films like Phone Booth, where it's just one location, most of the film, you will love this. If not, you will hate this. I think Phone Booth is a good movie, if not a great movie. This is a fucking amazing movie. I love the twist ending. My opinion on the truth is that it is supernatural. Like the woman on the phone, I don't remember her name, but I think she might actually be voiced by Rosamund Pike. She talks about how the Hallow Road has like supernatural origins. I believe that's what it is. That something supernatural, like some sort of shapeshifter, killed Alice, I think the name is, Rosamund Pike's daughter, and then shapeshifted into her, called the mum, and then the whole film starts, and then eventually she gets killed by something else. Because of the nature of the film, it's hard to say things, so I'm just gonna have to leave it there. I think that's everything. I don't even know what happened. I just forgot to make these, so that's why it's so piled up, and I'm not able to say much because there's such a big quantity of things to talk about. When was my last review? 9 days ago when I did the Surfer. God damn. There probably are some things left, but I can't remember them, so I'm just going to move on and just give a couple updates. No more cinema reviews for a while. There's one film out right now that I want to see, but my dad and my brother want to see it, and my brother, once again, is being a fucking retard about it. Most of the time, if there's a film he wants to see, and I ask him, you want to go? Most of the time he'll say no because he's out of money. Right now, he has money. And he is willing to see this film in cinema. But he just keeps on making up excuses for why he doesn't want to go today or tomorrow or whatever. I might just go on my own, to be honest. I don't think there's anything coming out next week that I want to see. Because right now all the website says is Karate Kid, which I refuse to watch because Cobra Kai is produced by YouTube. They're releasing the last 2 episodes of Doctor Who in cinema, but tickets are £15. I'm not fucking going. I'm just gonna watch on iPlayer for free. And some Peppa Pig movie. I'm 20 years old. I don't have a child or anything like that. I'm not going. Anyway. I have given up on waiting for Assassin's Creed series to reply to my comment. If he hasn't replied by now, hell, if he hasn't replied by like 20 fucking days ago, he's probably not gonna reply at all. Excuse my stomach. So yeah, I've gone back onto AC Shadows when I do the middle and end reviews. The problem is it's been so long that I can't remember what I was planning on talking about. I'm nearly halfway through Yakuza 0, so middle and end review for AC Shadows and middle review for Yakuza 0 coming somewhat soon. I'm taking a long time with watching Andor because I've got work and shit, so that won't be coming soon.